everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming earlier. I see a lot of you are already here, already in the chat, already placing your bets on which of the mysterious Black Widow pencil covers out there is the real one. That is some crazy, crazy stuff going on in the art community right now. We'll talk about that later. But that is not why we're here today. We are here today to do a review of Castle Art pencils. So, before I start my show, let's say hello to everyone. Please confirm that you can see me and hear me all right. Hello, Stacy. Oh, Nightbot. Hello, Nightbot. We have some new people here, people I haven't seen before. Katrina, welcome. Welcome, Sue. Welcome, Melody. Ego, Rain Robin, Indigo, hello, welcome. Mark, Jessica, Ego Brain, Michelle, Jesse, Robin. I'm repeating a bunch of names. A lot of people are rolling in right now. Thank you so much, you guys. Check on audio and video. Thank you kindly. All right. Hey, Lisa, I'm excited about this review. Blank Mission, new name. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad to see you here. Oh my God, more new people that I haven't seen before. Welcome. Oh, hello, Stacy. Nice to see you. Wonderful. So this here is Barbara. Hello. This is the box in question. And first of all, thank you so much to Jessica Elward for sending me this box. It is amazing. This is the 120 pencil Castle Arts set, which we will be reviewing today on my page called Steampunk Dancer. This page is, of course, available on Etsy. And if you're a patron, all of my patrons have this page as a free gift. The links to everything are links in the video description below. So if you're watching this live or if you're watching a rerun, just check out the video description. You can actually click on the links. So if you want to follow a link to get this page, if you want to follow a link to go on Patreon, if you want to follow a link to buy this design on a t-shirt, that is also available. You're welcome, says Jesse. Thank you again. Oh, hello, new people rolling in. Thank you. 22 people here already. Thank you. Don't forget to give me those likes. You know, they keep the live stream going. That is, in fact, the secret behind successful internet, is how many thumbs up we get. So let's dive right in. This is going to take a while. In fact, most of what I'll be showing you today, I had to speed through. So this is going to be a time lapse mostly, instead of my usual regular speed recording, because I didn't realize how long this took. I got lost. I was completely in the zone when I was making this coloring, and I lost track of time. I just kept coloring and recording, and I had a book in my ear that I was listening to, and I thought it took me 2.5 hours max to complete, which is my regular coloring time, 2 to 2.5 hours. But when I pulled up my recording on the video editing software, I realized that it took me 5.5 hours to make this coloring. It is insane. And we'll talk about the reasons why it took me such a long time. Part of it is because I was having so much fun that I completely lost track of time. But another part of it is how the pencils behave. So again, we'll get into the technical analysis of the pencils a little bit further into the show. But I'm starting with white. My number one test for any color brand is how cool the white pencil is. You guys know that I love working on gray toned paper, and I start with the color white. Usually when I'm working with the brand of my choice, when I'm not doing a review, I start with white charcoal for my primer to get all the light details and all the details that will be ultimately the most colorful. I color them in with white, and I use white charcoal because it is the purest form of white out there for these purposes. But since this is a review, I have to follow my own rules and work only with the pencils in the box, nothing extra. So the white here is all right. I would not say that it's excellent. It definitely doesn't compare to white charcoal or the Prismacolor white, which is my absolute favorite white. But I would give it 3 pizza slices. Have you guys seen the short reviews that I'm now doing? I am doing after each one of these really long live shows, I release a short, compressed, like 10-minute, lightning fast product review, which is called the Pizza Fairy product review. And the Pizza Fairy gives each category a number of pizza slices. So I just released a couple of days ago, I released a Pizza Fairy review for castle art pencils. If you haven't seen this, watch it after the show. It's only 10 minutes long, and it's one of the last videos that I uploaded. You'll have no trouble finding it. So there, I give it the pizza slice grading scale. So the color white, 4 out of 5 pizza slices, color intensity altogether, 5 out of 5 pizza slices, etc. So I am curious to hear your guys' opinion on these pencils as well. So feel free to throw in your own pizza gradings in there as well, how strongly you feel about something. So on the color white, I would give it 3 slices out of 5. It's acceptable. It's not extraordinary. But that's not to say that this brand won't come out to a really high rating at the end, because white is honestly really hard to do correctly. Most brands have a white pencil that's a so-so quality white pencil. It's not extraordinary because they're really not designed with what I do in mind. Like, that's not what color creators think of. They're like, as long as there's a white, it's fine. They don't actually expect us to prime our pages on gray toned paper for a professional or artistic effect. So it's an okay white, nothing to write home about. Now, as I'm getting more into actual colors, it's a whole different story. There are 120 colors in here, and they're all exceptionally great in terms of saturation. The white isn't great, but the set has a lot of great colors with rich pigments. Great minds, new person that I've never seen in my chat before. Great minds think alike. That's exactly my assessment of this box as well. White isn't great, but the rest of the colors are top notch. I was very happy. I intentionally picked this page to work on because it's so detailed. I knew I would have to go through a lot of pencils to complete it all. So I didn't use every single pencil in the box. That would be madness. There are 120 of them, but I used a lot of them, probably close to 20, which is a lot for a single page. Oh my God, that was totally me correcting the camera there with my hand on the screen. So I used quite a bit of these pencils, and I found the colors to be very satisfying. I would give the color saturation 5 out of 5 pizzas on this. I struggle with these pencils, says Michelle. You know what? That is something that I discovered as well. I have my notes up here on the screen so that I cover everything with you guys. All the notes that I took along the way during my experience. I honestly also found that I struggled with them a little bit, and that's part of why this coloring took so long. Is because obviously it looks lightning fast on the screen right now because this is at 4 times the speed, what you're seeing on the screen. And the reason that I chose to speed this up instead of chopping it up into little parts, but at regular speed, is so that you guys get to see every single color applied, because they're just such beautiful colors. I didn't want to miss out on any one of them. And since I'm not teaching technique, I tend not to teach technique during these reviews, just talk about the pencil quality. Since I'm not teaching technique, you guys don't really need to watch me color the wing for 40 minutes. That would make for a pretty boring show. So instead, we're speeding through this, but we're hitting every single color that I actually used. Hello, Erin. Welcome. And so yeah, struggling with this brand, I found, especially in this part right now where I'm layering lighter colors, slightly darker colors over my lighter colors, and I'm working with beige and brown tones. I found it... Honestly, my first response was that they're a little bit scratchy on paper. And they're a little bit scratchy, like as I'm creating the layers. It was quite different from what I'm used to with Black Widows. I am really, really hooked on Black Widow pencils. I'm really hooked on Prismacolors. there are a couple of other brands that I've reviewed recently that I really love now, but mostly Black Widows and Prismacolors are my number one pencils because of how beautifully they blend. But it also, habit plays a lot into this because I've used Black Widows for such a long time and I use them so often. I teach my courses with Black Widows mostly. That habit is also a huge element here. Like, I'm just used to them. Maybe it's not, a matter of how good the brand is, but just of what I've grown accustomed to. So I try to keep that in mind as I'm doing these reviews, because my first thought was, wow, this is totally different from what I expected. The blending is actually quite difficult. So there was a discomfort level there, but I realized that it's also part of the learning curve. This is a new brand. Keep that in mind. When you buy something new like this, there will be a learning curve. You will have to get used to it. Every single pencil brand behaves a little bit differently from the previous one that you've used. They're all going to be a little bit different. So just because it's different doesn't mean that it's bad. We tend to dislike things that we don't understand or don't know how to use. So if you automatically dislike something, ask yourself, is it because I'm actually accurately judging this? Or is it because I'm just uncomfortable? And more often than not, it's just because you're uncomfortable. You're like, this is new. I'm in unknown territory. This is all new and different, and it feels different from what I'm used to. It feels different from what I'm expecting. Therefore, it sucks. That's a very easy trap to fall into, and I almost fell into it with these pencils. Thankfully, I stuck with it, and by the end of the experience, by the end of my 5.5 hours with these pencils, I was completely in love with them. So that's a spoiler for you guys. This show is not going to be a total surprise. It's not going to be I'm not going to make you wait for 2 hours to tell you that I actually loved them. Yes, in the end, I did love them. I do recommend them. I did add these pencils to my Amazon influencer shop. So if you want to buy them, the link to the pencils is in the video description. You can go and read my review of them on Amazon and grab a set for yourself and try them out. But there is a learning curve. Somebody wrote something in all caps. The paper is also a big factor in blending. Yes, Rain, huge. Absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out. Paper is a huge factor. I think that these pencils on crappy paper will be very difficult to work with. So glossier paper will be just horrific for these pencils. Printer paper, I think, will be absolutely horrific for them because they're not soft and waxy. They're a little bit hard. So blending isn't extraordinary with these pencils. However, layering is. And it's an interesting distinction. You would think that blending and layering are the same thing, and they're not. Oh, I love Monarch pencils, says Melody. Yes, Monarch pencils are amazing. All Black Widow pencils are amazing. Speaking of Black Widow pencils, how many of you guys have seen some of the different tins that are going around, photos of tins that are going around online of the new Black Widow set that's about to be released in October? How crazy is that? If you haven't seen my video on it yet, check it out after the show as well. I did a video on the dragon set. I don't know if it's real or not. I just saw pictures of it. I tried talking to Albert about it with some mixed results. And right after I did that show, a new set popped up with a bat set. And someone told me just an hour ago, less than an hour ago, that he saw a zombie set floating out there as well. I have not seen that one yet. But someone also made me a troll set with the internet troll on it. Somebody sent it to me as a joke. I like the ballerina shoes in her dress. Oh, the little ballerina in her dress. Yes, thank you kindly. That's a cool little detail. She's a super detailed page, so I hope you guys really enjoy her. So let me know in the comments, you guys, what your experience is with this new Black Widow saga, and what you think is actually happening, or what you have seen, because I am collecting all the gossip on this topic, so that I can bring you another episode of the low budget coloring news next week. And another thing that I wanted to mention to you guys about on the Black Widow topic is, does this look familiar to you? My Black Widow fans in the audience? these are the Castle Art pencils. The very first thing that I said when I opened this box is, uh-oh, Black Widows have a copycat. But I'm not actually sure if that's a true statement. If anyone in the chat knows if these came out before Black Widows or after, I'd be curious to know, because this is, if this box had just come out, I would call this a Black Widow ripoff. But they may have actually been around since before Black Widows. They are quite different, though. They look similar to the pencils the way that they come in the Monarch set and the way that they allegedly come in the new Zombie set, or Bat or Cat, or whatever it's going to be, the mystery set. I'd like to find a coloring page of a steampunk or goth poodle dog. Oh my god, that is a great idea. I am making that happen. Thank you so much, Melody, for that idea. Someone says that the Castle Art 120 were long before Monarch. All right, I stand corrected. I am sorry, Castle Art, for calling you a copycat. You can't be a copycat if you've created this before someone else came on stage. So, all right. However, the Black Widow presentation is a little bit different. This is black on the outside, but the wood itself is white wood. So it's just painted black, and it has the colorful tip. Black Widow pencils, as far as I know, are the only pencils that are solid black wood all the way through, meaning when you sharpen them, all of this is actually black. If you break it in half, it's all going to be black inside. That is a signature Albert Jones move. As far as I know, he's the only one who's doing it. He was definitely the first one to do that, and maybe someone's been doing it since, but those guys are copycats for sure. A gothic steampunk poodle, everyone is asking for. I love it. I'm actually working on a lot of steampunk stuff right now because I am doing a steampunk Halloween this year. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I already have a few pages of like classical Halloween monsters and movie characters, but in a steampunk style. So all this year, everything is going to be steampunk. More Halloween poodles, steampunk poodles. Will you do the Davidsons on Halloween again? Yes, we are planning to do a show with Matt and Don Davidson on Halloween again. We can't tell you anything about it yet, but it will happen, and it's going to be pretty epic. There's a set of Faber-Castell blacks. Yes, there is, but it's not black on the inside. I am yet to see another set that's actually made of black wood, the same wood that Albert uses. That's quite special. All right, this thing that I'm playing with in my hand here, the Castle Art box, which we'll talk about the box separately as well. The box is quite awesome. Really love the tin. But it also came with, it came with this booklet of everything else that Castle Arts does, which is quite extraordinary. They produce a lot of other supplies that I didn't even know about, but they have, like, there's just this entire booklet of all the stuff that Castle Art actually produces and sells, and I think that's only half of it. And of course, color chart, that's already filled out. Unlike Shuttle Arts, Castle Art did not make us fill out the color chart. They already presented it to us. So thank you kindly for that. I did not like filling out the Shuttle Arts color chart. I thought that was a horrific waste of time. So just having a color chart here is cool for people who don't care about them. It doesn't matter for people who do care about them. You don't have to do all the work yourself. The chart is already here for you. It's very cool, along with this catalog of everything else that the brand offers, which I'm going to have to try now because this sounds really cool. There's 72 watercolor pencil sets, soft touch colored pencils in a metal tin, piece drawing set. I don't even know what that is. Oh, a 26 piece drawing set. 100 sheet sketchbook, watercolor paint tubes. Like, they make a lot of stuff. Fabric paint. How cool is that? I could make t-shirts that have like blank coloring pages, and we could have a coloring contest on t-shirts. That could be a fun Halloween project. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. Acrylic paints, a whole bunch of different acrylic paints, oil-based paint pens, brush pens. I love brush pens. I'm gonna have to get those. So yeah, they make a lot of stuff. Don't know how good their other products are because they're in quite different families, but I'll give them a shot. Let's see, from the person who sells them on Amazon. Who said that? What's from the person who sells them on Amazon? There was a conversation going that I missed. Blank Mission. How did you hear Black Widow confirmed dragon set? From the person who sells them on Amazon. Yes, quite a few people said that the dragon set was confirmed. Quite a few people said that it was the exact opposite, that they also spoke with Amazon or Albert or something, and they got the exact opposite result. The only thing that I can confirm for you guys for sure, after speaking with Albert, is that he is planning on releasing the set in October. The exact date isn't cast in stone yet because it depends on the manufacturers. There are a few delays right now, still due to COVID. Very unfortunate, but they're trying to stay on schedule. As far as he knows, the new set will be released in October. He did not confirm the dragon design for me, and he did not confirm the bat design for me either. So someone else was talking about a zombie set that they saw. I am yet to see that. No idea. Well, the other thing, thank you for those likes, by the way, you guys. Thank you kindly. The other thing that came in this set, now I thought this was extremely clever. This definitely got a few extra pizza points for Castle Arts. This is an instruction manual. And yes, if tech support is with us in the chat, he's laughing at me right now because I never read instruction manuals. But this one has pictures, so it's different. See? Pictures. This I thought was very clever. This is an instruction manual on how to use the pencils in a very simple format that anyone can follow because it's pictures and a single sentence. So let's read it together. It says, stage 1, with a picture. Stage 1, start by carefully drawing your original with as much detail as possible with a gray pencil. Okay, we can skip that step because we're doing a coloring page. We already have the line work. So basically they're telling us, get your line work ready. Step 2, again with a picture. Carefully introduce the light tones as these will provide the undercolor to the drawing. How cool is that of them to tell us this? This is really good information. Stage 3. Continue to build the colors. Take care to isolate the turrets from the main structure. They're talking about the actual castle picture here. Step 4. Now add definition and dimension to your work with a subtle choice of colors. This is like professional art advice. And step 5, of course, the picture that they're demonstrating on is the castle from the cover art. Step 5, finally develop your masterpiece by carefully adding depth. Now is the time for darker hues. So what is Castle Art telling us with this? And this is impossible to miss. This is like you open the tin and it's the first thing that's in there. What are they telling us with this? They're telling us that with their brand of pencil, the best way to use them to get the best possible results is to start with lighter tones and build up on lighter tones. So there are two pieces of information here. Right off the bat, they told us, don't start with dark and add lighter tones. It's not going to work. Thank you so much for giving me that information because there are two kinds of colored pencils out there. The kinds where you can add lighter tones on top of darker ones, like Prismacolor, and the kinds that you can't do that with, like most of the other brands. For me, that's a very important feature. If it's not there, it doesn't matter. I'll make it work. But if it is there, I'm a huge fan of it. For instance, I'm teaching my entire course on how to color hair with Prismacolors for that very reason, because I can take a lighter pencil and add those final shine highlights to the hair at the very end when all the dark and bright colors were already established. With most other brands of pencils, you can't do that, so the entire approach will be different. Castle Arts just saved me a whole bunch of time by telling me, don't go crazy, don't experiment, don't push your limits, just follow the rules, start light, and build up your colors. The second piece of information that I'm getting from this is that they're confident that their pencils are very good at layering. because if you follow those 5 steps, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of layers. We're talking 20 and up if you want to create real professional results. Many brands of pencils are not that good with layering. The professional brands are. Prismacolor, Black Widow pencils, there's no limit. With Black Widows, you can just keep adding and adding and adding and adding. And if you're not using a lot of pressure, theoretically, you can just keep adding those layers forever. Now, these pencils, Castle Arts, it's my first time working with them, so I was a little skeptical. I'm like, they are promising quite a bit here. They're saying that you can keep adding these layers forever and ever and ever. Is that really true? And you know what? After 5.5 hours of working on this super detailed page with like a million colors that are going to go into it, yes, they do live up to that promise. The layering here, 5 pizza slices, 5 out of 5. 100%. It's amazing how many layers you can add here without messing up the colors underneath, without changing the texture, without changing the paper or anything like that. I like blending dark to light. It's easier to see the structure. On some things, yeah, I like to be able to do both. I would recommend for all the colorists out there, learn both ways. I often get asked, which way do you prefer, from darker to lighter or from lighter to darker? Learn both ways and interchange them depending on different projects that you're working on, and as we know now, on different tools that you're working with as well. Yes, we will have Matt and Don Davidson on the show. Someone else is asking. The new Black Widows is very funny. The new Black Widows said, "Is the steampunk goth poodle?" Trolling. Castle Art also makes their product covers as well as other art available to download. Yes, that's what I suspected, because of this booklet where they actually take us on a step-by-step journey of the creation of the castle. And then the castle is on the cover. Let me show you guys the cover again. One of my comments on Shuttle Arts was that the art on the cover is probably not real, that it's digital art or a photo that was made to look like a coloring page, like a drawing. But this is clearly done with pencils and probably with their pencils. So that's a really nice professional touch. I really appreciate it. Also, having all the colors in a little box on the front and the back as well is very cool. The way that the tin opens, it doesn't detach completely. It opens like a book. So it opens, or like a suitcase. And the other thing that's very cool that I haven't seen, oh my God, I'm making a mess here. This is probably really loud. Okay, I turned my audio off for the moment where I was dropping all the pencils on the ground. The other thing that I haven't seen in other brands is when you take out the pencil, whatever these plastic things are, there are little handles on them, little elastic cords on each and every one of them, so that you don't have to use these finger tabs that are really never that comfortable to use, but you have these handles that just that you can pull out your pencils, and that was very cool. I thought that was amazing presentation. Now excuse me while I pick up all these pencils from the floor. I know you're not supposed to drop them. And speaking of dropping pencils, I did not have any problems with these breaking during the experience. I used my electric sharpener on these as I was working, and I didn't have any breaks during the sharpening. I didn't have any breaks during the coloring. They're really high quality. And unlike some other brands that I know, they don't advertise that they're break resistant on the cover. They don't have to. Their pencils are break resistant on their own. The wood quality I thought was also very good. It's nothing extraordinary. You know, it's not unusual. It's not super hard or super soft or some extraordinary color that's dyed all the way through. But it's you know, it's good. It's really good. It's not crappy wood. It doesn't snag when you sharpen a pencil. It's just really nice, solid wood. Very happy with it. Shelby in the beanbag. I think you guys can see her over there. Check her out. And there she is in her beanbag. Yeah, I got a beanbag and I lost a beanbag on the same day. Let's keep her in the frame. I am constantly dropping pencils. Me too. Me too. I drop them all the time. And most of the time nothing actually happens. I have carpeting in this room, so when I drop them, they just fall on the soft carpet and they don't get damaged. Uh Castle Arts sells the 120 set in a nice zip case with individual pencil slots. I saw that as well on Amazon. So again, the link that I have in the video description, if you follow the link to my shop, my Amazon influencer review shop, Castle Arts are in there, and it's a whole bunch of Castle Art pencil products that I reviewed, but only the ones that I've actually worked with, not their markers or anything like that, because I can't review them until I actually try them. Speaking of which, if you guys want me to review anything, the way that these shows happen is that you send me stuff, I review it, and I send you back the work of art that I create. So Jessica is now a proud owner of a signed piece, this steampunk dancer. As soon as I finished it, I signed it, sent it off to her. So I have my pencils, she has the art, you guys have the entertainment, everyone's happy. So if you want to send me stuff, the address to send it to is in the video description. I will review whatever you have to send me, even if I've worked with that brand before. I will still do a live review of it. I will make an art piece or use an art page that I already have and do a show like this, and then send you the original art and have the review up online. So that's how that works. The next thing that I'm doing is actually markers. Somebody sent me skin tone markers, which I was always very doubtful of. I'm like, really? You can do skin tones with markers? So that should be interesting to see how that works. I will compare skin tone coloring with pencils to skin tone coloring with markers. A lot of people in the community like to use markers, and many of you have been asking about skin tones. Like, is it possible to do portraits with markers? Well, I don't know yet. I haven't done it yet. I'm going to record it next week, and then probably 2 or 3 weeks from now, we'll do a live show on that. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining. I have the brush pens and the gel pens too from Castle Art, says Michelle. Please let me know what you think of them. I am usually a huge fan of brush pens. Shelby's making sure mommy's doing a good job. Aww. Yeah, she's totally snoring in that beanbag. Oh, Mark, yes. I also set up, thank you so much, Lisa. This is awesome. Well, thank you, Jessica. Thank you for sending me this box. It's really, really cool. So again, it was a very different experience for me from anything else that I've worked with. And part of why it took me so long was the difficulty with, the adjustment period. It took me a while. When you try something new, you're a little bit timid with it. I was a little bit timid with my layering because I wanted to make sure that this comes across nice and smooth and beautiful, and makes for a beautiful show and makes for a beautiful work of art that, of course, gets sent out to someone. Like, I get to sign it and send it to you. It has to be awesome. So there's a little bit of pressure. There's a little bit of nerves. Of course, it's being recorded. I'm going to get judged on it. So there's all that. So it all adds to a little bit of timidity working with a new product. So that definitely slowed me down a bit. And then, of course, the blending. There isn't really, they don't blend. I also tried using a Q-tip on them, and literally nothing happened. It's like what you apply to a page is what you get. But the layering, like, that's why they tell you start light and just keep adding and adding and adding, because you're not going to get that blending effect, but you can create these layers of amazing color gradients, which is essentially the same effect as blending colors. Like, they don't need to actually blend. They can just go one on top of the other with a slight gradient transition. So you can get these fantastic effects, and do watch the show again afterwards, when you're not chatting in the live chat. Oh, welcome, Heather. She says, woohoo, I just made it. Welcome to the show. I'm glad you made it. So absolutely amazing effects are possible to achieve with these pencils, but it takes a little bit of getting used to. It takes a little bit of skill also. I would not recommend these for beginner colorists. I think you would get frustrated with them if you're an absolute beginner. But if you are intermediate or advanced, if you've been coloring for several years already, and I know a lot of you are really timid and really shy about your work, many of you will not call yourselves experts, even though you are. Many of you will not even admit to being intermediate and call yourselves beginners when I know better. I guarantee you, most of you that I actually know by name in this chat are either experts or intermediate level colorists. Like, you guys are all already doing professional level stuff. And if you're working with my artwork, you're probably at least intermediate, because my pages are very, very intricate, very detailed. Like, beginners won't be able to even handle this kind of art. So, oh, Iselina is here. Welcome to the show. Great to see you. We're doing castle art. I have to be very careful. I keep confusing castle art and shuttle art because I'm doing them back to back. So I have to be very careful about what product I'm actually reviewing, because boy, won't that be embarrassing if I did the whole show promoting the wrong name. Oh, so I set up this new thing. I don't know if you guys can see it. My admins and moderators, please let me know. I set up a new thing on YouTube that is a membership. I can't see it on my end. I was just approved for it like 2 days ago. You may be able to see it in the live chat. You can become a member on YouTube. It's basically like Patreon on YouTube, except a lot cheaper. And you can join and become a member, and then you get like your own special icons, and every time you chat, everyone can see like what grade of a supporter you are. So if you can see that, if somebody can direct my viewers to how to become a member, how to support this channel, please do so, because I don't actually know. I just set it up. But every little bit helps me. So if you guys can support this channel by becoming a member, that would be most helpful. There you go, Melody Trotter. Thank you so much for your donation. Steampunk Goth Poodle Dog, you are on. That's fantastic. Okay, so as far as I know, like, when you become a member, you'll be able to get different emojis and icons and stuff like that. I've actually created a few emojis and icons for us. So I'd like to see that. One of them is a pizza slice, of course. There's a Space Force icon with a little alien. Shelby and Foxtail emotes. Yes, I'll need to make those. Of course, a little yellow face and a little black face with the sock ears. I will make those as well. That would be a lot of fun. Yes, if you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you, Nightbot. Love having Nightbot with us. All right. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions on what you're seeing on the screen, I don't naturally lecture on technique during these shows because they're product reviews, not coloring lessons. But if you do have a technical question, don't be shy. Feel free to ask me. I'll answer anything that you have to ask. This is a live chat. This is for you guys. One for you and Tech. That might be a little complicated for an icon to make one for me and one for Tech. But certainly we can have like, I don't know, a tool for him and a brush for me or something, or a peacock for me. Because, last time we had a show with the pack, with my patrons, we were talking about icons and how there isn't a peacock icon. And for those of you who don't know, I used to have a pet peacock. So I always wanted to have a peacock icon for Kevin, my peacock. But it doesn't exist. And I'm like, there's a platypus icon, there's a pufferfish icon, and there's not a peacock icon. What kind of sense does that make? No sense at all. Oh, purple. I'm working with these beautiful purple tones now. When I work on skin tones, I love adding purple for the shadow. Yeah, I know. I said I wouldn't lecture, but I can't help it. The purples in here are absolutely fantastic. After what I did with the Cruella page by putting her entirely in green light and that green dress, I kind of was suffering from post-traumatic green shock. So I made sure that I will not use a single green pencil on this page. Q-tips, how do they work? With this brand, they don't work at all, Heather. At all. I actually cut that part out from the show completely. Super Chat. It's called Super Chat. I didn't even know I was eligible for Super Chat. Thanks, Mark. There I go, being a professional YouTuber. Hey, guys. How does this work? Yeah, I think there's like a dollar icon somewhere that you can hit to support the channel. I'm not really sure, but Melody just made it work. Thank you kindly. I really appreciate it. It's very, very helpful to me. So Q-tips don't work at all with this brand, but you know what? I'm not angry at that at all because the layering is so incredible. It completely makes up for the lack of blending. They're not waxy, they're not powdery, but they're not scratchy either. When I started this coloring, I thought that it felt a little bit scratchy. On the second layer, my beige over white felt a little bit scratchy to me compared to what I'm used to with Black Widows. But now that I'm on like layer 8 or 9 maybe with my colors, I don't feel like it's scratchy at all. It's super smooth. I really enjoyed them. I have the Derwent Color Soft and I love them. I've heard a few people talking about the Derwent Color Soft. I have not tried them yet. But hey, if you would like me to try them, please send them my way. The address to send me stuff is in the video description. I'll be happy to give them a shot and do a live review of them as well. Oh, speaking of what you guys think and doing live reviews and all that stuff, I ran a poll in our community in Talm, which again, if you're not a member of the community, there's no reason not to be. It's free. It's easy. The link is in the video description. Just ask to join and I or one of my admins will approve you. And it's a coloring community. It's just free of ads and Facebook nonsense. So it's a lot cleaner and we just do work and share our thoughts and everyone has fun. And I ran a poll where I asked, have you tried Castle Art pencils? What do you think of them? And the options that I gave were love them, hate them, meh, good enough for me, and never had the pleasure. I was surprised that 40% of the people who participated in the poll had never tried these pencils. These are the pencils that I'm reviewing right now, Castle Art. 40% have never even tried them. But out of the remaining 60%, actually, that's like totally confusing math. From the remaining people who voted, the people who have tried Castle Art pencils, 28 absolutely love them. 18% say that they're great, they're good enough for them. Only 12% said so, meh. And 0 people said that they hate them. So those are really good results. The only surprising element to me was that most people just haven't tried them at all, ever. But out of the people who have tried them, most people actually really love them or just like them. But absolutely nobody hates them, which is an incredible review. I also have a very few things to pick at here. There's nothing that I hate about these pencils. There isn't even anything that I dislike about these pencils. There are a few things that made me uncomfortable. But again, a lot of that is just part of the first time experience. I am in the meh. Yeah, a few people were. Let's say you're part of the 12% in the meh, and I can see why. I had to push through past the meh in the beginning. These pencils take a bit of patience, a bit of getting used to. Again, this coloring took 5.5 hours, and I work really fast. And I didn't even do like all the possible detail on this. You know, I didn't do the entire background in full detail. I didn't do all of the details on her dress or anything. Like I tried to minimize the amount of colors and detail so that you know it's done and it looks good and it's a nice balance of everything. But if you were to do a page that's this detailed, with this brand, it can take several days. It can take several weeks. So these are definitely pencils that require a little bit more skill, a little bit more patience, and a certain mindset. You know, some people like to really get into the groove of it, you know, listen to music, have a movie on the background, you know, have a book in their ear and like an audiobook. something like that, and just pass the time and totally get in the zone and just mechanically color and like add layer after layer after layer. If that's you, you're gonna love this set. I get completely lost in my work, so I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. Every time that I questioned the quality of the pencils, the next thing I know is I blink and another hour has gone by. So uh, that tells me that these are actually really good quality pencils that kept me in the zone. I wasn't actually struggling. I was just occasionally questioning myself. And of course, I was doing this for review, so I had to pay attention. I couldn't completely zone out. I had to pay attention to all of these things and take notes on the side so that I know what to talk to you guys about come the show. Light Fast, is that another brand? Not really a budget pencils, as they cost $55 for a set of 120, $60 with a castle. I would say that $60 for a set of 120 is really affordable for this quality pencils. Certainly you can get cheaper, but if you go cheaper than that, generally you lose quality quite dramatically. For professional grade pencils, this is an excellent price. So yeah, when you talk about price, whether it's budget or not, also differentiate between budget good and budget crappy, because there are two kinds of budget. Never go for budget crappy. Like, try to either save up some money for a little bit less supplies but fewer supplies, but that cost more. Maybe wait a little bit longer, actually save up that money. Don't get that Starbucks coffee for a few days in a row, and like set that money aside to get better quality pencils, or wait for sales and discounts or stuff like that. Maybe ask in the community if someone has a set that's lightly used that they would be willing to sell to you. A lot of us buy sets and then they just sit on the shelf. We never use them. Make a post in the community. Ask if somebody has a Black Widow set that they're not using, if they'd be willing to sell it to you for a discounted price. We are a community. That's part of being a community. Less supplies? Never. Yes, a lot of us are hoarders. I was going to say collectors, but no, we're straight up hoarders. That's part of the coloring hobby. So never cut down on quality, you guys. I get it. We all want to save money. Hobbies get expensive. It's part of it. It's part of the experience. But hey, I need that Starbucks coffee. Brew your own. It's going to be cheaper. I'm telling you. I have not had a single Starbucks cup since we moved here. I got the 120 polys on holiday sale. They are my absolute favorite pencils, and I mainly use Blick Studio Artists as they are much more affordable. Very cool. That is cool. I approve of that. I am a hoarder. Yes, I am as well. Yay! I finally made it, Cindy. Welcome, my friend. I'm so glad you're here. We were just talking about affordable versus budget versus crappy. These pencils, I would say, are very high quality for the price that they're at. I would call them very affordable. Not extremely affordable. I wouldn't call them like the bargain of the century, but I would call them very affordable and very good quality. Yeah. The pencils that we love that are the highest end, which to me are still Black Widow pencils and Prismacolors. Those are my top two dogs. Those cost what they cost for a reason. They can't be any cheaper than what they cost, because if you cut down on that cost, you're going to have to cut down on quality somewhere. We talked a lot about that when we talked about shuttle art. So consider that, those prices are not just set for the heck of it. They have to cover the costs of manufacturing. So when professional companies decide to make high quality product, like Albert Jones will never cut down on quality. Black Widows are pricey, and rightly so. I wouldn't, like, if they go down in price dramatically, I'll be pretty suspicious. I am willing to pay that extra money for Black Widows to get the quality that I get, and that's wonderful. Now, you may not wish to color only with Black Widows, but I think if you're a professional colorist, and I think most of us are. Like, you're a professional hobbyist. This is your hobby. You're really into it. You're professional enough to be here on the show right now. Like, you have that dedication. I would recommend giving professional level tools a shot. Don't go crazy and buy them all. Unless you really want to. I'm definitely not going to tell you to go out and just spend money for the heck of it. But be smart about it. If you can afford something nice for yourself, for your hobby, it's not a waste of money. It's an investment. You are investing in your tool, in your craft, and you need to try all these different things to see what you actually like, to see what works with your hand. And like I said, you guys, we're a community. Like, ask around. Let's make a new topic in my community where we can share pencils. If you bought a box of pencils that you're just never going to use again because it doesn't work with your hand or your pressure or the paper that you use or whatever, put them up in the community. See if somebody wants to buy them off you for a discounted price, and the other way around. We have each other for this reason, and so many of us have tools on our shelves that just sit there collecting dust. Send them as a gift to someone, or sell them at a discount. Welcome, more people rolling in. Hello. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for those likes. Thank you for supporting the channel. There's now a little dollar sign floating around somewhere that I'm apparently the only one who can't see it. So if you can hit that and see if you can become a member, if you can support this channel, every little bit helps me a lot. Because as artists, we're always starving, living on ramen and coffee. So every little bit helps. And of course, if you want to send me stuff for review, the link to my address is in the video description. Send me stuff, I'll review it, and we'll have another show like this. And I'm really enjoying these. I'm getting a lot of really positive feedback on these shows. I try to do them on Thursdays at 2 o'clock. That seems to be everyone's favorite time. Not every Thursday, but every 2 or 3 weeks, we do this live show that's 2 hours long on a brand of pencils or any other art supply that you guys send me. And go crazy. If you want to see me try out markers or watercolor or pastels or anything at all, if you want to send me a box of only green pencils, I'll be forced to do it. So have fun with it. This is your show. Shuttle Arts is the one I don't have. That's in the link below as well, Barbara. If you just follow my Amazon channel, I have Shuttle Arts in there. Just follow that link and it will take you to the Amazon link where you can buy them. Shuttle Arts, I did a review of that a couple of weeks ago, and then the Pizza Fairy review came out just a couple of days ago. So if you missed the live show, I recommend to watch the Pizza Fairy reviews because they're short, quick, straight to the point. If you don't plan on coloring along with me for the whole page and you just want the product review, get the Pizza Fairy review, and that will be, in a nutshell, everything you need to know about that brand. So Shuttle Art is something that I do recommend, but there are also things that you may wish to know about it. Oh. Oh, you guys are being silly in the chat. Yes, that's the link. Thank you so much, Jessica. More purple. I try to stay in the gold and purple tones for this, for the steampunk look. And actually, it was really difficult to avoid green for the steampunk look because there's a lot of like green jewels and little part of mechanical magic in the steampunk style that's either green or turquoise. So that generally looks really good in the steampunk style, is a whole bunch of browns and like an emerald green. So it was actually quite difficult to avoid using green, despite the fact that I hate it. And those of you who have seen the final version of this coloring have already been asking me, Lisa, what are you talking about? You did use green. Ultimately, the background looks green, but I didn't. I did not use green pencils. So stick around until the end of the show and find out how I end up doing the background without using the color green to make it actually look green. It's magic. But purples, I love purples and I love blues. Those are my favorite colors. I know those are Indigo's favorite colors as well, so she will be very pleased to see this purple hair come to life. And later a little bit of the blue will come in too. I drew a Halloween Pikachu once. It was hilarious. A Halloween Pikachu. Now that I have to see. Melody, please post that picture. Please post that picture in the community in Talm. Pika Pika. I have a Pikachu tattoo. Awesome. I love tattoos. You know I love tattoos. Yes, if you are not a member of the community, please join us. Link in the video description. It's like a group, but better. So just join us. Layers. Yeah, this is all about layers. Have you tried the 32 or the Deli oil based budget pencils? No, I have not. I have not. I'd love to see a link or the actual product. Just feel free to send me stuff, and whatever it is, I'll try it. This was my first picture of Lisa's that I colored. And then I was hooked with Jedi Master Lisa. Thank you so much, Mark. I forgot that this was your first picture. This is quite a project to take on as your first. This is one of my most detailed pages. If you want this page, you guys, if you're already a patron, you have it. It's a free gift to all of my patrons. It's up in the community, in the patron circles. It's up actually on Patreon. Just join, and the picture is there. If you're not a patron, it is up on Etsy. The link to the Etsy listing is also in the video description, as always. Okay, let me look at my notes again. What else did I want to talk to you guys about? We talked a little bit about the box. Very useful instructions. Yes, in the beginning of the show, I talked about this booklet and how it guided us through the steps of coloring, suggesting that we work in layers, starting with lighter colors and building up darker and darker colors. And that was indeed really good advice. I followed this advice. I did test my limits at the end once everything was already safely colored and presentable. Of course, I had to cheat a little bit. I always have to cheat a little bit on my art projects, because hey, that's part of making art. Learn all the rules, break them in the most creative ways. That, in a nutshell, is art. So I did test that a little bit, and yeah, they're right. They don't go from dark to light. They only go from light to dark. So working with this, go from lighter colors and build them up and build them up and build them up. Very useful straps. Oh my god, I'm like screaming. Very useful straps on the actual pencil boxes. There's 3 layers in there in the box, and it's 120 pencils total. They look suspiciously like Black Widows. They do look suspiciously like the latest Black Widows, like the Monarchs. But I was told that they came out way before Black Widows did. And they are round. Black Widow is edged. It's like a hexagon or something. And Black Widow has wood that's black all the way through. So if you snap it in half, I know everyone's freaking out right now. If you sharpen it nicely and gently, you see that the wood is all black inside. Not here. This is white wood that's just painted black. 120 for the price, I think, is an excellent amount. Certainly enough color variation. There are more than enough colors to work with. It did take me some getting used to. Like I said, this coloring took me 5.5 hours, which is unusually long for me for a single page. I would normally bust out with this in 2.5 hours, even with this much detail. Like with Black Widows, I would probably be done in 2.5 to 3 hours on something like this. 5.5 hours means I was a little bit slower, a little bit more careful. I probably used more colors than I needed to, just because I was testing them. But also, I think, and this is only coming to me now, talking to you guys now, I think the inability to blend also adds to it. I think, hey, tech support is here. Welcome, tech. Everyone in the community is talking about your Inktober art. Somebody who's here with us now, Jessica, has my original Inktober art. Thank you kindly for that purchase. And with it came a single sheet with Inktober with tech support in 5 minutes. When we did a live show after Inktober, tech support was kind enough to listen to me call out all the prompts and draw his own little lightning fast doodle. And he made his own sheet of all 31 Inktober prompts, and they are brilliant. The picture of that is in the community. Go check it out. It's you'll have tears in your eyes. It's wonderful. And dude, I kid you not, everyone's talking about text art a lot more than about mine. So this year we are definitely having tech draw for us. Cindy asked earlier, how do they compare to shuttle art? Which one would you use the most? Ooh, good question. I totally missed that. And then remind me, I have to go back to the blending topic because I started talking about it and then I saw that tech is with us. How do they compare to shuttle art? Which one would you use most? Very interesting. I may even have to do a video on comparison, just like I did Prismacolor versus Black Widow. I would say that shuttle art has stronger colors in terms of saturation, not in a way. So shuttle art has stronger colors. It doesn't mean that castle art has weak colors. Both have very strong colors, but shuttle art is just absurdly strong. So I would use shuttle art for really theatrical stuff, Halloween stuff, like glowing pumpkins, glowing evil green magical potions, glowing crystals, stuff like that. Shuttle art I will use for 100% of the time. Castle art the color intensity is amazing, but it's not as obscene as shuttle art. Like the colors are exactly as advertised. With shuttle art, I felt like the green was just like nearly neon. Here you don't have that. The colors are just exactly as advertised, and they're strong colors. They're good colors, but they are, compared to shuttle art, a little bit more subdued. So for steampunk, I think that was a good choice. I would continue using castle art for stuff like this. I probably won't use it on things that are as detailed because I see now that it takes me a lot longer to work with castle art. And this finally closes the story loop of blending. I finally realized right now, live on the show, that the reason that it took me as long as it did to complete this page is because this brand Castle Art, they don't blend with Q-tips. And apparently part of my secret of why I color as fast as I do is that I use my Q-tip to blend. So yes, I establish my colors, I work fast, but on top of that, I rely so heavily on my Q-tip blending that apparently it saves me quite a bit of time. I did this entire coloring without using my Q-tip at all, and it took twice as long as usual. So there you go. Will I still use it? Absolutely. I did not mind that it took 5.5 hours. In fact, I didn't even realize. I only realized when I pulled up the video recording in my video editing software. Like 5.5 hours? Are you kidding me? I love tech art. Simba says hi. Simba is a cat. Hello, Simba. Cats are always welcome on the show. Stacy's leaving. Good night, Stacy. Thank you for coming. I hear that EMM is coming out with a Twisted event in September. I heard that too. There's some steampunk stuff coming out. There's some Halloween stuff coming out. I heard some fun things. Okay, what else on Castle versus Shuttle? This is Castle. Shuttle I did a couple of weeks ago. I felt that, which one would I use more often? Probably I will use Castle more often because I tend to work more with I wouldn't say subdued colors, but my style is more monochromatic. I like sepia tones. I like more subtle effects rather than really bright neon-y, like in your face kind of colors. So probably personally on the stuff that I work on my own, I will probably lean more towards Castle Art for my own stuff, for portraits. But for really fun and Halloween-y theatrical stuff, I will do Shuttle. I will probably use them both equally just because I tend to present all sorts of work on the show. But for your own use, for your like what to recommend to you, it's all very personal. That's why we have these shows. That's why they're 2 hours long, is so that you can participate in this live chat and ask me questions in real time and watch what I do and watch how I work and compare it with what you do and how you work, because it's all completely different. Like, you may not have this approach to coloring. You may not even ever choose to color a page like this because it may be too detailed or not detailed enough. I don't know what kind of coloring you're into. So, always try it on for size. Try it on for your own style and your own coloring strategies, and the kind of colors that you like and the kind of things that are important to you. For instance, for me, the presentation of the pencil is not important at all. I know a lot of people care if it's black or if it's fully colored or if you can see the tip or if you can't see the tip. I don't care at all. Like, they can just all be solid black and not even have names on them. It doesn't matter, because the way that I work is that I take a piece of scrap paper and I test the color on it. You see me do it on the show. So the presentation of the pencil itself doesn't matter to me. But a lot of people will not buy pencils that are difficult to read, for instance. I found that, which brand did I do? Faber-Castells. I found that Faber-Castells are very difficult to read the actual text because it's like super Italian script in gold on colors, and it's nearly impossible to read. So if I relied on the pencil presentation, I would probably lean against that, but I don't. So I don't care. I care about the quality of the pencil a lot more than the presentation. And the quality of these pencils, to me, is definitely a high quality, even though personally for me, based on what I'm used to, it was a bit of a struggle to get into it. But once I did, it was absolutely worth it. Michelle's leaving. Good night, Michelle. Thank you for stopping by. Terra Corvus. I have tried oil on Q-tips. It's nice. Oh, okay. Oil on Q-tips. That's interesting. I need... Dramatic is missing in my sets. Dramatic is missing in your sets. Then you definitely need shuttle art. Shuttle art is very, very dramatic. I did find that shuttle... We shouldn't do shuttle art review. If you want to hear my shuttle art review, just go and watch the shuttle art review, because it's going to get confusing. But these ones, castle art, one thing that I did find about castle art that I wasn't too thrilled about was, and again, this is, I actually said that about Black Widow pencils on the very first review that I did, and I was wrong. I had to correct myself in the following show. But I'm going to say this again about castle arts. I found that they got too short too quickly. But as I'm saying that, I'm also realizing that this is a color that I use the most. And I used it on a 5.5 hour coloring. So maybe this isn't that obnoxious. Maybe I would have driven any brand pencil that low. But somehow it seemed like they just got too short too fast. And again, they weren't breaking along the way. I didn't have to sharpen them past the breaks. I used my electric sharpener and it was fine. But I did go through the pencils quite quickly. A lot of them are already very short. I probably have one more coloring left in this pencil. So that's another thing that we talked about on the previous show in terms of cost. You may have a very affordable set of a lot of pencils and it may seem like a dream come true, but if it only lasts you a couple of months and you have to replace it that often, or even less than that, if it only lasts you a month and you have to replace it, then suddenly it's not that affordable anymore. So I wouldn't go as far as saying that these get eaten too quickly by the sharpener, because I haven't spent enough time with this brand yet. But it is something worth noting. This jumped out at me. I have worked with a lot of Black Widow sets. I've done colorings more complex than this, and I have not run down a Black Widow pencil this small in just one coloring ever. So this just jumped out at me. But again, look at how much of this, what is this? Green gold. Green gold is not green, by the way. It's still like a mustard color. So this green gold color, I used it a lot. That's my main color on this page. So that's still up in the air. I'm not ready to give this a pizza slice rating yet on how quickly the pencils get eaten. I'd like to know what you think, though. There are a lot of you who have tried these pencils, who regularly work with these pencils. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the chat if you think that, if you feel that compared to other brands, you go through Castle Arts a lot faster than through anything else. Oil on Q-tip can enhance blending. Oh, like oil, like what kind of oil? Like cooking oil or like oil? Let me know. But yeah, oh, baby oil. Yes, it's used for blending baby oil. Okay. And does it work with every brand of colored pencils? I will try this. I will try baby oil with my Castle Arts. If using baby oil for blending will speed up my coloring process and allow for better blending on Castle Arts, they will greatly increase in my list of pencils that I love. They're very close. They're definitely up there with my favorite pencils, but no one has crossed Black Widows yet. In fact, no one has even come that close yet. Prismacolor's pretty close, but I don't think Prismacolor will ever pass Black Widow. Thank you, Mark. Yes, this image is available on a t-shirt now, and actually in 2 versions. I just put up a new t-shirt this morning. Last time when we talked about steampunk, I said steampunk, it's when goths discovered the color brown, and it caught like wildfire, that phrase, in the community. So I put that on a t-shirt. Steampunk, when goths discovered the color brown, with the steampunk dancer next to it. And then there's another design where it's just her in a frame and it's all in brown tones. So that's in the shop. Swing by and grab a t-shirt or a hoodie or a mug or something. We have a lot of really fun stuff in the shop. I use normal oil, like normal baby oil or normal cooking oil, and I use it for polychromos on Castle Arts. Okay, I will try that. I thought the same things at first. I still haven't had to replace mine. About them getting really short really fast. Yeah, it definitely caught my attention. I still haven't had to replace mine, but have a few that are pretty small. Okay, so I'm not the only one. But again, like, I'm not really ready to make that as a public announcement of Castle Arts gets very small very fast. But something worth paying attention to. Normal cooking oil. Oh, interesting. I wonder if it makes your coloring smell good. Has anyone tried painting with coffee? I've seen some really cool coffee watercolor paintings out there. And as much as I love coffee, I think I should try it, because then you'll have that coffee smelling work of art later on. Love the blue. Oh, yes. All the blues in this set are incredible. Very, very bright blues, and exactly as advertised. Like, there are no surprises here. Sometimes the blues are kind of hit or miss. You look at the pencil and the way that it's represented on the wood, and when you tried it on paper, it's completely different. Not here. One other thing that I really love about this brand is that the presentation is completely accurate. Like, what you see is what you get. There are no surprises. Smells. Baby oil smells better than cooking oil on art. Okay, polys last forever. Okay, that's good to know. I like my polys. I only have the small set of polys that I did for a review, but they didn't get very small at all in that process. I did the demon geisha with polychromos, so also a very detailed image with a lot of colors. Actually, for that one, I used every single color in the box because it's a small set, and that was possible. So yeah, small set, using every color in the box on a detailed page, and like, I hardly put a dent into that box. It's gonna last for a really long time. So I wonder if that's the quality of the wood. If that's what it comes down to. We should do research on what actually makes a pencil, because I'm using the same sharpener for everything. Yet some pencils get so small so quickly, while others do not. So is it the wood or is it the lead? Like, are we running through pigment that quickly that we have to sharpen more often? Or is it when you put the pencil in the sharpener that so much of the wood gets eaten so quickly that the pencil gets short really fast? So if someone's up for doing some research, please let me know what you find out on the mechanics of why some pencils last longer than others. My Castle Arts are breaking a lot. Interesting. Do you think an electric sharpener will help with that? Yes, it would absolutely help with that. Again, in my Amazon shop, in the video description, if you follow my Amazon link, there is a review of a pencil sharpener that I have on my desk, and a whole bunch from the same family. I recommend those. Those are really good pencil sharpeners. Just follow the link and pick the one that you like. Absolutely. I only used the electric sharpener on this coloring, so I did not have any breaks at all. Not a single break, not with sharpening and not with coloring. But on the other brand, Shuttle Art, the ones that are really, really bright, that I did a couple of weeks ago, I used both the regular sharpener and the electric sharpener. And I found that in the regular sharpener, they just break consistently. And they even break on paper. Like, you touch them to the paper and they break quite easily. However, putting them through the electric sharpener, even though they're like super breaky pencils, putting them through the electric sharpener solved that problem for me. So definitely, if you find that these break with your hand sharpener, I would switch to an electric. For me, it was life-changing getting an electric sharpener. Absolutely life-changing. Tested one Prisma covered 4 pages, one poly covered 46 pages. What are we talking about? I'm not sure. Please clarify. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, since we're talking about oils, has anyone tried CBD oils on pictures? I also don't know what CBD means. Please explain. And if somebody knows what that means, please explain as well. Okay. Electric sharpeners, yes, absolutely. Highly recommend electric sharpeners for any brand pencil, especially if you find that they snag a lot. A lot of times I hear feedback for the craziest things that pencils break easily. I used to think that Black Widows break easily when I was just getting into Black Widows, and I realized that my pencil sharpener just sucked a lot. And it was eating everything. So a lot of times you don't know which part of the equation to blame. So it's really easy to blame the pencil because that's what you interact with the most. So, you're working with the pencil and you sharpen it, it breaks, you sharpen it, it breaks, and you just get annoyed, and then you associate that pencil with breaking easily. And often it's not the pencil that is to blame, but the sharpener. A lot of us get really, really crappy sharpeners, especially the hand ones. They really don't last that long. Plastic ones are the worst. The plastic handheld sharpeners are the absolute worst thing that you can use, because the plastic itself bends as you hold it. So your angle on the blade is changing as you're sharpening, and that's when you get those snags, and you actually snag the wood and break the tip, and it's ugly. Furthermore, the blades that they use on plastic sharpeners are the lowest quality metal imaginable. So as you sharpen pencils on it, your blade isn't sharp anymore. So you're actually doing more damage to your pencil as you put it through the sharpener. And even furthermore, most people don't know how to correctly hold the pencil in their sharpener. They hold it at a different angle. And when it's not at the correct angle, once again, you're putting extra strain on the lead and you break it. So in an electric sharpener, that's impossible because you have that guide to where you stick the pencil in. So you can't go wrong with it. Like, you just need to get it in, and the sharpener will do all the work for you. Oh, CBD is cannabis oil. Okay. Wow, you guys know so much more than I do. Electric or hand crank. Hand crank is also very good. Yes. And electric sharpeners, they tend to be higher quality as well in terms of the metal that they use on the blades. There are a few sharpeners, handheld sharpeners, that are made of solid metal and they're quite heavy, that I like. Those are really nice because they're metal. Like, nothing ever happens to them. They have that nice weight to them. It's just like a nice chunk of metal to hold in your hand. I really like them. But the blades also, like, they're slightly better quality blades, but you have to change them. A lot of people don't realize that you need to change the blades on your sharpeners. You don't need to buy a new sharpener every time. You can just buy a stack of blades, and it's a single screw there with just a regular Phillips head screw that you can unscrew and put the new blade on. But yes, keep your blades sharp, or get an electric sharpener, because those last longer. They save you a lot of time, and I highly recommend them. Check out my links for the sharpeners. How long pencils last? Oh, okay. Prisma covered 4 pages, poly covered 46 pages. Okay, interesting. Uh, she's been using that crack too much. I haven't used any crack on this page. Come on. Okay, everyone's dying laughing now. There was no crack involved in the making of this picture. I was good and I used only the white pencil. No crack at all. For the new people on the show, when we talk about crack, we're not talking about actual crack. We're talking about white charcoal, which I am so hooked on that everyone calls it crack. And, it's white and powdery, so ha ha ha. Oh my god, my phone just sent me a notification that I have an upcoming Castle Art stream. I hope I don't miss it. I checked on my boxes. The Faber-Castell pencils are made of cedar wood. Maybe it's very hard wood. Interesting. Thank you for checking on that for me, Michelle. I don't smoke either, but we live in Nevada where apparently it's legal. Yes, tech. We do. I don't know why I had to confirm that for tech. Cedar wood. Yes. I think cedar wood is hardwood, like a white hardwood. Which you would think that a hardwood you wouldn't go through that as quickly as you would through softwood. I'm not really sure. I think the more I think about it, the more I think that it comes down to the use of the actual pigment, not the use of the wood. So probably we run through the pigment faster, and then we need to sharpen the pencil again and again and again and again, and then you go through it really quickly. Also, it's possible that it's my fault on this one because the picture is so detailed. I'm working with a lot of tiny little elements, little decorations in her dress, all of that work in her corset, the hair, the wings, all the stuff on her hat, that I intentionally kept my pencils crazy sharp on this coloring. So I probably sharpened it even when I didn't need to, just to keep that extremely sharp tip. I would just go straight into the electric sharpener. And with an electric sharpener, it is possible to over sharpen them because you just put it in and it keeps spinning forever and ever. So you can just put it in and keep sharpening it until it's like this short. So also that could be something that I did without realizing it. But I will keep an eye out for it. As I keep working with this pencil brand, I will keep an eye out on if they last longer or less than the other brands that I'm used to. Like Black Widow, I know really well by now, but this brand, I don't know so well. Cedar is one of the longest lasting woods. That's why decks are made of it. Oh, good to know, Cindy. Thank you. So yes, cedar wood on these pencils, they feel nice in your hand. They're not crazy light. They're not crazy heavy. They feel solid. Some pencils, they feel like they're almost made out of balsa wood or something. It's really freaky. These ones, they have a nice feel to them. Very nice feel. Round versus hexagonal, I don't really care that much. I honestly don't care because the diameter is the same. So it feels the same in your hand. Once I start working with a pencil, I don't really think about what it feels like in my hand. I'm just entirely in my mind and on my art, and it doesn't jump out at me unless it actually interferes with my work. It doesn't jump out at me, but these are perfectly circular, and some of the other brands that I work with are hexagonal, like Black Widows. Either way, the only difference is round ones roll off your desk a lot easier. If you're a kind of person who likes to just put her pencils on the desk like I do, a lot of these will end up on your floor. With hexagonals, you don't get that rolling because they just stay on the edge. So that for me would be the selling point. Is if I had to choose between hexagonals or rounds, I would go for a hexagonal because I don't have a very good organizational strategy. When I work, I just toss my pencils aside. I use a color and I just toss it on the tabletop, and they often roll off. These rolled off the table quite a bit. None of them broke though, so that's that's saying something about the quality of the pencil, of the lead. As much as I drop pencils, these are not all broken inside at all. I haven't had a single break during this entire coloring. Um, but the polys, the lead is okay. With the polys, it's what the lead is composed of. It's harder than the soft prismas. Yeah, they are all very different. I did have, I think my introduction to Black Widows was pretty traumatic because the first box that somebody sent me of Black Widows, which is how I got started with them, somebody sent me a box and said, try these. And I tried them and I got hooked. First one's free. But the box came from the UK to Chile, and it got so smashed in transit that all the pencils were fractured inside. So I went through that first box really quickly because I had to sharpen them over and over and over again, and that was my first experience with Black Widows. But it was obvious that they got damaged in transportation. I know Chile well enough to know that they destroyed my box before they delivered it. So I wasn't mad at the brand, but I was a little bit concerned about how much I had to sharpen them. But since then, since I've been getting my pencils from Albert directly, or from Amazon directly, I have not had any issues with them breaking or not lasting long enough. I've watched videos of how they made polychromos. Way cool. Oh, I love videos of how pencils are made. Please post it in the community. I would love to watch it. Let's see. This sure adds in Faber, the leads are a mix of clay and graphite. Some of the pencils used to have ore inside of them too. And then pigment is added. Very cool. Very cool. We definitely need to have some detailed conversations on how pencils are made and compare different brands. Somebody's saying hi to somebody. Did a new person show up? Welcome, new person. Welcome to the show. The video is frozen for me. Who is the video frozen for? Is anyone else frozen? Can you even hear me? I'm gonna type it here. Is anyone else frozen? Because if YouTube is frozen, you can't hear me. Oh, okay. No one else is. Jesse is not. Just refresh. Okay, refresh. Tech is yelling at me from above. Refresh. All good here. Okay, wonderful. Okay, I think we said refresh enough in the chat. Sometimes YouTube freezes on people, but it's all clear here. Okay, everyone's giving me the thumbs up. All is well. Thank you kindly. You may want to try Derwent Chinese white drawing pencils. That sounds cool. I am always on the market for really good white pencils. Somebody sent me a box of a 12-pack of white Prismacolor pencils. Thank you so much for that. It's really precious to me. I love my Prismacolor whites more than anything. That's my next best thing to white charcoal is Prismacolor whites. And no, I did not go through that whole box yet, believe it or not. They last quite a long time. But they are amazing. I love Prismacolor whites, not just because of how strong they are, but how well they layer over pretty much anything. Not just over other Prismacolors, but like over pretty much any other brand. So if I want to add those white highlights to the hair, Prismacolor white is how I will do it. Oh, working again. So good to hear. Welcome back. Refreshing worked. Wonderful. Yay! All good. That's what I like to hear. But you guys know the secret behind the streaming, right? It works better the more thumbs up we get. So hit those thumbs up. Hit that little $sign that's now floating around somewhere so that you can become a member of my YouTube chat and get special perks. And, of course, also support this channel. It's a brand new thing that I just set up, so I am completely new to it. But apparently it works, as was already demonstrated by several members earlier in the show. So thank you kindly for joining, for your donations, and for supporting this channel. It means a lot to me. And if you need anything else from this show, remember to check the video description. I have all the links there. So if you need to join the community, the link is there. If you want to become a patron, the link is there. If you want to find this image, the link is there. If you want to get this image on a t-shirt, the link is there. There's a link to everything there. If you want to find a pencil sharpener, that's in my Amazon list. Amazon. Love Derwent drawing pencils. Hello from Massachusetts. Hello, new member. Welcome to the show. I hear really great things about Dervins. I think someone is sending me Dervins or is planning on sending me Dervins. I'm not sure. There's something in my mailbox that I don't know what it is yet, but I have to go probably this week to pick it up because there's some fan mail there. And boy, won't that be exciting if it's some Dervins, because everyone is talking about them and telling me that I need to try them and how preposterous it is that I still haven't. A lot of people really, really have wonderful things to say about them. There's another brand that someone was talking about in the community. Let me look that up really quickly. Somebody asked a question in the all about coloring supplies topic about coloring supplies. Somebody asked a question about a specific brand. No, not Black Widows. That's a totally different gossip lane. Somebody asked a question about Norberg Linden pencils. Does anyone in the live chat know anything about this? Norberg Linden. In my community, no one has even ever heard of them. So I don't know. This happened right before I went live, so I didn't get a chance to look them up online. Tech says we'll go pick up fan mail tomorrow. Woohoo! We will, of course, either film it or photograph it and let you guys know immediately what it is that came in the fan mail. And probably it will be something that I can review on the show, so that'll be fun. Okay. Yes, Linden, Norberg Linden pencils. There's a 72 set and there's a 120 set. Never heard of them. No one in my community has heard of them, but now you have my curiosity. So there's so many brands out there. I mean, one day I want to review them all and to have this library of pencil reviews for the coloring community up on YouTube. So thank you guys so much again for making this possible. Thank you, Jessica, for sending me this box of Castle Art pencils. This video right here, this live stream wouldn't even be possible without that fan mail. So that's amazing. Nightbot, thank you for reminding everyone to hit that like button to keep the stream going. And they have been hitting the like button. Thank you so much, everyone. And remember, you guys, you can ask me anything during these. These are also Q&A shows. Like, I am here for you if you want to ask me anything at all about what you're seeing on the screen, even technique, even though I don't teach technique during reviews. I'll be happy to answer. Hello, everyone. Glad to have found you. Welcome, Amira. Welcome to the show. Is this your first time? Welcome. Yes, join us in the community. It's free, it's fun, it's full of really awesome and positive people, and lots of cool things happen in the community, like free gifts and amazing conversations and some behind the scenes stuff and a lot of Black Widow drama. Oh my god, I'm on the screen, the community screen right now on my other computer. And everyone is talking about what is going on with the new Black Widow cover. We have seen the dragon set. We have seen the bat set. Several people have reported seeing a zombie cover. I haven't seen that one yet, but 3 people already mentioned it. Somebody mentioned the pumpkin set. I haven't seen that one either. Like, is all this happening while I'm doing a live show? I'm missing everything on Black Widows. And of course somebody made the troll face cover. Haha, very funny, you guys. I did do a video on my take on the dragon set. I'm not sold one way or the other. If it's real, it's freaking awesome. I am secretly hoping that it is real because the dragon is absolutely gorgeous and I want it to be real. But it's like I told you guys at the end of the video, I really don't care what the cover art is. Whatever Albert has to offer us is going to be amazing. I use Black Widow pencils for the quality, not for the art on the tin. But presentation is always fun, and of course, color names is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to find out all the amazing color names that we'll have on the new set. And so far, the only color that he's given us is zombie. And we don't even know if he told us the truth about that or if he's teasing us, because there are all these teasers going around now. No one knows anything. So green gold. This is the green gold pencil that ran totally crazy short. But as you can see, I do use it a lot. So maybe it's nothing to do with the quality of the pencils, but rather with how much of it I used. And this is totally reasonable. Not yet, Lisa. Not yet. Me too, Lisa. I love the dragon. Yeah, the dragon definitely is beautiful. The new Black Widow. Potentially the new Black Widow set. I did speak with Albert, and he did confirm. He said that it's okay for me to tell you guys to confirm that the set will come out in October. The earliest days of October, fingers crossed, later days in October if something gets delayed with the factory. He doesn't have an exact date yet, but he said for sure October. So I don't know if it's released in October. Why did we get to see the cover? That's the biggest mystery out there. So this is what all of you have been waiting for. If you were here from the beginning of the show, this is the biggest question that I had on this piece in the community, because I did very boldly announce that I didn't use the color green on this page because I'm suffering from a green overdose from the previous coloring that I did of Cruella de Vil in full green. Yet the final version of this steampunk dancer looks a little bit greenish, with a little bit greenish background and the greenish hat, and everything kind of looks greenish. This is the secret. I did a layer of blue, several layers of blue actually, because I wanted to bring out all the details in the wallpaper. And then over the blue, I'm using this like ochre mustard color. And that's how I'm creating the steampunk green effect. I find this is how I naturally work when I'm not forced to use green. This is how I create green effects. And again, I don't hate the color green most of the time. Some things are fine, like grass looks lovely in green. Dragons look lovely in green. Frogs as well. You know, some things are meant to be green. But I don't like working with green pencils. Something about working with a green pencil just it creeps me out. It's unnatural. But creating green effects is quite fun for me when I build up the effect with different blues and yellows. And that is how I always work. Even when I create green effects, I build them up myself, and then all my green pencils are brand new in all of my pencil sets. Not anymore, because now I do pencil reviews. Love the dragons. I like when brands make an event out of a release. Oh, is that what you think he's doing? He's making an event out of the release by teasing us with all the different covers. Definitely, that would be cool. I've been reading all the comments on Facebook. There's some really interesting ones. I was gonna save it for the next news flash next week, but I'll read some of them to you now. There's some very interesting notes that people made on Facebook. Somebody said, excellent way of getting your product talked about. Someone else said, someone with Photoshop is having a ball. Somebody said, wait a minute, what happened to the dragon? Now we have bats? This is getting stranger and stranger. We seem to have a new Black Widow cover every day. Someone said, oh, someone's just changing the pictures. Same pic again, but they changed the theme because Lisa talked about an October release. Maybe they saw her video and made a fake tin. I mean, you think that making a fake tin would be really involved, and getting it produced would be really involved. So yeah, I'm not really sure about that, but a lot of people seem to think that the bats came after my show, after the videos that I made, saying that I wish it had been a Halloween themed tin. But I'm not really sure. Someone else says, I'll buy anything by Black Widow. This is great entertainment. So everyone's really having a blast with this. Yeah, I have a bunch of these on my screen that I'm saving for the next low budget coloring news flash, which is coming next week. So if you see some cool comments online, send them my way, because apparently now I'm also a tabloid reporter. I heard that Lisa I heard that Lisa is buying for the pack the new set of Black Widow pencils. Mark, I heard that you are making all the fake tins. I've heard several people say that. I heard that the pack was buying them for Lisa. Oh, now we're getting some debates in here. It's certainly getting marketing for Albert and Black Widow. Wouldn't be surprised. Love it, like it. I like when brands make an event. The background is awesome. The background on my stuff is awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. The backgrounds, Mark is a big fan of these backgrounds. He really loves coloring them. And Mark is one of the few colorists in my community who actually takes the time to complete the entire wallpaper when I present a wallpaper like this, which is very admirable, but is absolutely not necessary. I give you guys these wallpapers for fun. And also for pens and markers. I think they're a lot of fun to finish with markers. It's very therapeutic. Many colorists like patterns, as well as skin tones and hairstyles and stuff. So I like to switch things up with these backgrounds. I do them all by hand. And I have a bunch of them saved to use as different backgrounds for my characters. And usually I personally ignore them. When I get to a background that's this detailed, I'm like, oh my God, how do you guys put up with me for all this detail? This is tedious. But on this one, I wanted to give it a little bit of texture. So you see, I'm not into backgrounds myself. I usually don't go edge to edge on my backgrounds, but because I knew that I was going to send this work of art to the person who sent me the pencils, I wanted to make sure to do a good job on this and to make it a complete work of art that I would actually be proud of. I'm hoping she'll put it up on her wall or put it in her folder, to protect it in plastic and to save it forever and ever. So I wanted to do a good job. So I actually put a lot of care into the background. But I'm also not a complete background kind of a person. Like, it's just not my artistic style. I'm more into like splatter effects and shadows and things of that nature. So I did a little bit of that with the background here, but I am also very pleased with how it came out. Modesty aside, I'm very pleased with how the background came out. That fake green color that's kind of like an old leather steampunk look. I really like it. And I think the YouTube screen is making it look a lot more vivid than it really is. In real life, the colors are more leathery and less neon. So depending on what kind of screen you're watching this on, what kind of resolution, what kind of actual device you're viewing this on, it will come across a little bit different for all of you. For some of you, it will just be absurdly bright. For some of you, it will be kind of muted and dull. But in reality, it's a little bit of both. It's definitely strong colors, but the overall theme here is kind of steampunky and leathery. With some purple, but like kind of golden leathery, Okay, I see a lot of smiling and laughing faces here. We're still talking about the Black Widow drama, I see. The dragon set has a lot of reds on it. Beautiful reds. I saw the back of the ad. Yeah, both the dragon and the bats came with the back, and the colors are different for the bats and the dragon. But they both have reds. If you saw the Black Widow live stream where we had Albert on the show about a month ago, he did mention, he gave us one color, zombie, but he did talk a lot about, not a lot, he doesn't actually talk a lot about his product at all. He's a very difficult man to crack. But he did talk about the color red because the Monarch set didn't have any red in it at all, yet it was the best quality set. Everyone who's a Black Widow fan agrees on that. The Monarch set, they're the softest. The presentation is the best. Everyone loved the tin. Everyone loved the pencil with the color tip, the names and everything. But especially above all, the color, the pencil quality. However, despite having all these beautiful colors in the Monarch set, there was not a single red pencil. There's one chestnut kind of a brown in that set, but that's it. That's the closest thing to anything remotely resembling red. Everything else is green, blue, or kind of a yellowish cream, and that's it. Nothing else. I don't think there's even a white in that set or a black. It's just green and blue. But it's a forest set, it's Monarch and it's all like nature and foresty and stuff like that. So people kind of forgave him for it, but a lot of people complained about not having enough red because red has always been a very strong Black Widow color. So he did say live on the show that for the new set, he's compensating for the lack of red in the Monarch set with bringing some new beautiful reds. So the Dragon set kind of confirms that. But again, it's not the only back cover that's floating out there. I've seen at least 2 others with different color variations in the back chart, but all of them have some red in them. So I think I think we'll see red regardless. Don't forget to check out Lisa's Udemy courses. Yes, that's right. I also teach, that's right, I forgot. I also teach Udemy courses, and quite often they are on sale, on quite ridiculous sale on Udemy. I don't control the sales. A lot of you guys send me questions on, when is a good time to join a Udemy course. Just occasionally check in and see if there's a sale running, because I'm not the one who runs them. Udemy runs them on their own. I don't get notified when they run a sale, but I think you guys do if you are already a Udemy member. So just every once in a while check in, and if you can afford to join a course, definitely join a course, because it's a great way to learn, and they're really packed with information. I don't teach on YouTube anymore. I do occasional tutorials, and I have private streams for my patrons. So if you want to join that, that's the Featherwolf tier or above. We had our last meeting a few weeks ago, and our next one will be in October. So if you want to join the private learning community that I have, that's on Patreon in the Featherwolves. Or another way of doing that is to join me on Udemy, but that's pre-recorded. They are pre-recorded lessons, and each topic has, I think, 25 to 35 lessons that are just completely packed with information. You can watch them over and over again. Some of them come with notes. Some of them come with homework assignments. But they are, they'll keep you busy for weeks. That's a proper education. If you want to learn crystals, metals, skin tones, hair, and the course that I'm working on right now is going to be undead skin tones. That will be released, of course, for October, for Halloween. So that's coming up soon. But if you would like one-on-one lessons with me, that's Patreon. I run live streams for my Featherwolves and above, and I actually do private lessons for Dragon Foxes and Doodlebugs. That's one-on-one. Unfortunately, I'm all booked up on those. I can only take one more Dragon Fox right now. I am all booked up on everything else, because those are extremely time consuming. But that's all on Patreon. Follow the link below. Check it out. See what fits your budget and your needs and your interest of involvement and how much you want to learn. So, looks like my coloring came to an end. I'll take some final questions before I let you guys go. 2 hours seems to be the limit for my voice anyway. So, since I'm about to lose it, it's a good time to end the show. And I'll figure out another creative way to end the show this time without just hysterically laughing or knocking things off my desk. Like throwing a shirt over my camera or something. So last minute questions before I let you guys go. And look forward to the Pizza Fairy review. That will happen probably next week. I will make a short, 10-minute sum up of what we did today. Oh, I think Tech is here too to help me end the show gracefully. Gracefully is the key word here. Thank you so much, Lisa. You're most welcome. Thank you again, Jessica. This show is only possible because of you. Thank you. This is beautiful. You're welcome. Dog needs to go out. Bye, everyone. Bye, Indigo. Bye, Indigo's dog. Karen, you will love that class. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're going to love it. Good night, Indigo. Okay, everyone's saying goodbye to everyone. What was I talking about? The Pizza Fairy review that's coming next week. That's going to be a super fast boom, boom, boom with the actual grading on different categories and the final ratings on these pencils. That's coming next week. So, even if you saw the show, even if you sat through the whole 2 hours, do still check out the Pizza Fairy review because those are fun. All right. I need someone to help me end this show. He ran away. He came in here and then he ran away. Is he back at his desk? Yo, where are you? Okay, bye everyone. Bye. He came in here. He waved and stuff and then he ran away. I have no idea where he is. All right, I guess I'm ending the show on my own. Bye, Adrian. Bye, everyone. Okay, here he goes. Bye, everyone.